Okay, now we are going to revise chapter number 10. So chapter number 10 it is methods and constructives. So methods and constructives. In this chapter we started with telling you about the syntax of a method. How we create a method in Java programming. So we have the syntax we use. What is the first one? Access specifier. We have access specifier. Then we have the access modifier. Then return type. Then method name. Then parameters. Okay. So this is a syntax for a method creation, and you can see that whatever I included in the square bracket, these are optional. That means we can create a method. For example, bold display. So this is a valid method in Java because the code bracket you can see that return type, this method name and parameter. These are the compulsory ones for creation of a method, right? And when you, so I actually, whenever I want to know the syntax of this method creation, I always refer that the main method how we create, we create it as public static void main, then and you are learning like the string as the publishers follow, you also follow the same, right? So actually this public, this is access specifier, this static, it is access modifier, void is the return type, this is the method name, and this is the parameter. Okay, so for the, because when I tell you about this methods, it's not a new concept. You are already implementing it.
Yes.
Right? That is what I want to tell you, right? Okay. So then in this chapter we discussed about a different type of access specifiers. So different type of access specifiers we have public, private, protected, and default. Then we discussed that each of these. What is a public? So public means, what is public? It is accessible to all. So we know it is public facility means that is available to all. So in the case of a Java program, if you declare a method as public, which means that it is available everywhere, even outside the package. So this package, it is a term, maybe it's not a familiar one. Even though you are using this, you may have a confusion what is a package. So simply I can tell you, when you execute the Java program using the BlueJ, first you create a project. Then inside the project you type the class or create the class. So you take it as that project is the package. Okay? Yes. So in the case of a public access specifier, suppose if you declare a variable public int a, that means that int a is available even outside that package also. For that we can say entire JRE. What is JRE? What is JRE? Java runtime environment. Okay? Yes. Then we say what is private? What is private? So private means, okay. So private it is available only within that class. When you learn inheritance next year, that is class 12, we can see that we are going to give much importance to these keywords like public, private. So when we say private, that means suppose if you declare a variable or a method inside the class as private, that is going to be accessible only within that class. Then next one is we have protected. So protected means it is available within that class plus its subclasses. So subclasses, it is a term associated with the inheritance. So what is a subclass? The class which inherit the property of other class. The class which is being inherited is called the parent class. The class which inherits the property of other class is called the subclass. So in that concept we use this protected. That means that method or a variable is available only to the subclass and within that class itself. Then when we say default, actually default is in between this protected and public. So that is it was, we can say, when how we are getting this default. See, I told you about that example void display. We can say it's access specifier. The compiler assigning it as a default one. That means by automatically it is available within that package plus to its subclasses. Right? Then we have this modifier, access modifier. Actually, this year you are going to learn more about the static keyword. Do you have any idea what is the static keyword? Static. What is the use of static keyword? Okay. So static is a keyword. So if I tell you one example or one definition, you just for the time being you just understand. When we declare a method or a variable as static, that means that method or variable can be accessed without using the objects. Without using the objects. I'll give you one example soon. Okay. Then associated with the access modifier, we have some other modifiers which are final and abstract. So there are many types of access modifiers there. As you are from your syllabus point of view, you are only learning static this year. Next year you are going to learn final and abstract. So what is a final? I know you learned the final keyword earlier. In 10th class, you are declaring a constant as final int a is equal to 10. Which means that int a is not a variable, it's a constant. That means its value is not going to change during the execution of the program. Suppose if you declare a variable as int a is equal to 10 and if you try to execute a++, what is going to happen? The compiler will give you an error saying that you cannot modify as it is a constant. Clear? Yes, sir. So this final and abstract keyword we can learn in the next class, next year, associated with the concept of inheritance, this final and abstract. Okay. Then we have return type. So the return type means when you execute a function, the function we can use only for printing a statement. Sometimes you do a calculation, that calculation you need to return to some other point. In that case, so the return type of a method, it can be or it could be primitive or it could be not primitive also. So you know what is a primitive data type? We have 8 different, starting from byte, short, int, float, long, float. Then we have non-primitive. Non-primitive in the sense
user defined.
It is user defined. For example, array or object or string, right? Then method name means for creating the method name we follow the identifier rules. rules for creating the identifiers. Then we have the parameters. So we can have a function or a method can be created without parameters or with parameters. Okay. Okay. So there are two types of parameters, formal and actual parameter. Now we are going to see what is a formal parameter, what is an actual parameter. So for that I am going to write a sample program. So class sample. So I am going to create a function with only the necessary, or for let's say I am going to create a function in the display of int a. So what is the use of this, or we can say class sample contains a function called display. It is going to return an integer value. So we can, whenever there is a function return, we have to use a return statement. So we learned this return statement associated with the jump statements, like break, we continue, and the return. Yes. So here actually we are giving that right example. So return, so we can say plus plus a. Then we have the main method, public static void main. So public static void main, we created the main method. Okay. Now I can tell you the use of static keyword also, because see this int display, it is having, we can say it is a non-static method. So we can say it is a non-static method where this main function is a static method. So why we are making some function as static and some function as non-static? What is the reason? Suppose you are going to type this program. We have class sample int display, then int a. Say you are going to call this function or call this method as display of 10. Display of 10. Then when you compile, you can see that it will give you a warning saying that non-static members cannot be accessed inside the static method. So normally what some students they do, what they immediately put a static key. Then you can see that there is no problem. It is solved. But I think you all do that the same way, right? Sometimes. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you, when it comes to the execution of the program, you right click on the blue j, that you compile that one, then you go to that project, right click, then you can see that there is something called a new object. Then see both are static methods. You can see that display is there, and you can see that main also there, because both are static ones. Suppose if I am going to remove this keyword static, then you can see that only main is. So why we are using a main function? Because whenever we want to execute a program, we need we can just call the main method. From the main method, actually you are calling all other methods. Because of that reason, that is called the main method. Yes, sir. Right? Yes, sir. Suppose another scenario is that you got an error saying that non-static members cannot be accessed. So sometimes students, what they do, they erase this tag. So when you erase that, and when you go to that that execution point, You can see that you write it, you can see only create an object, new object, then some open, editor, remove, like that only. There is no main or there is no display, right? And then what you do? Some of you create a new object. Then you can see a red square there. Then you write it there. Then you call display function. Then you call main function. I'm not saying that that's not wrong, but we have the facility when we create a main method. Within that main method, see, we can call execute the program in the proper way. So again, I am making this as static. Now coming back to that object creation. So how we can create an object? Class name sample obj is equal to new sample. Right. So we have obj.display. Now see, we have a non-static method in the display. We have the main method. I created this object. So this is the point which I was talking about, the static. We use the, suppose if it is a static, suppose if it is static in the display, we could access this one without using the object. But it is we just plan to keep it as a non-static one. So in order to access the non-static method from the static method, what I have done, I created an object of the class. Using that object, I am creating obj.display, where obj is the object. And please see that the syntax for creating the object, class name, object name is equal to new sample, where only the new is the keyword used. So what is the use of new keyword? Whenever there is a question, new means if your answer contains memory, that's you go to promote. So new means memory allocation. Okay. So sample obj new sample. So you created an object obj. So using that obj.display, you are calling. We started with two type of parameters, formal and actual. But I used the opportunity to tell you lot of things. Okay. Now coming back to this parameter. So we say this 10 is the actual parameter, int a is the formal parameter. So when you want a definition, int a means it is formal parameter, 10 means it is actual parameter. So the definition we can say, formal parameters appear on the function header. This is a function header. Actual parameter will display on the function calling part. Okay. So function calling part and this is a function calling part, that is actual parameter. Function header, it is a formal parameter. Okay. Now see, whenever there is a function called, what happens? This 10 is the actual parameter. Actual parameter is passing here. That means here it becomes a is equal to 10 because the value you are passing is 10. Then this function, see, I cannot simply call this obj.display because the return type we are using it is int. So we have to, if you want to make use of this function, because obj.display is going to return an integer value. If you want to make use of this function, that returned value should be stored on a variable. So that is why I am using int x is equal to obj.display. So I hope you understand what is a formal and actual. Okay. So now we are going to study about a term called this keyword. So this keyword, exam point of view, whenever there is a question, what is the use of this keyword? If your answer contains something called it refers to the currently invoked object, or you can say current object. That's fine. Refers to the currently invoked object. And another point we can say used to differentiate or differentiate local and class variables. So these are the 2 points you can add. So this keyword, it refers to the current object. It is used to differentiate the local and class variable. So recording. Then we have I can give you one example for that. Again, class sample. We have a variable int a is equal to 10. Then suppose you have a method void display. So you have a, see, I am using the same variable name. Void int. Okay. Then I am going to print system.out.print a. Suppose when you call this method, you call display of 10. So I have now created the main method. So when you call from a main method, suppose you are calling display of 10. What happens? Suppose I am passing this value as 5. So display of 5. So what happens? Here a is equal to 5. Here of course it is going to print as 5. But we have a variable int a is equal to 10. Right? So we can say this is a class variable. Class variable means, or class or instance variable. So class variable means as it is inside the class, it is a class variable. Suppose if you add a static keyword there, we can say it is a static variable. Right? Then int a. So we can say int a is a local variable. Local to this display function. Now I just want to tell you the second point we understood about this keyword, that is it is used for differentiating the local and class variable. So here a is the local variable, but a is also the class variable. When you try to print system.out.print of a, the priority goes to the local variable, right? So to avoid, suppose you want to, but here you are planning to, here you want to display the instance variable or a class variable. Then what you do? This dot a. So it will print only 10. So that is what I told you. This keyword is used for refer the current object, and it is also used for differentiating the local and class variable. So here in this scenario we have a local variable and the class variable with the same name. Okay? Is it clear?